Hello and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Movies looks at dot dot dot. This week I'm joined by one of the hosts of Adventures in Movies.
Hello, my name is Blake.
Hey, by the way, how was your birthday?
Oh, well, it's tomorrow. But
Oh,
I guess speaking in podcast terms or YouTube
yes.
terms, it's been great. It's been awesome. I'm sure I ate something delicious. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it up.
Not a problem. This week we're going to look at Wrestle Massacre. Wrestle Massacre is a horror movie about a gardener named Randy. Randy seems to have the entire world against him. One day he gets embarrassed at wrestling school and he decides he's going to right some wrongs. so um
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
when's the last time you saw a movie like Wrestle Massacre?
Oh man, it's honestly it's been a good long time, and I guess watching it made me realize that I used to watch this kind of stuff all the time, all the time growing up. This was like what I actually even not growing up, like nowadays I kind of seek out this stuff periodically, but yeah, it's a very certain particular type of low rent that I have missed actually.
It's a good palate cleanser.
Yes, yes, I would say so.
A few weeks ago, you and I were talking about Riccio, the story of Ricky, and I told you how I saw it with Danny, and after it was over, Danny told me, "Wow, you really like bad movies, don't you?"
Something I've been accused of in the past myself. So I get it. I get it. This is true. This is a B movie. This is a B movie through and through. This was supposed to be a B movie.
Absolutely, it is, which kind of leads to a question I had for later in the show, but I'll throw it out there now. Do you think this movie came out at the wrong time?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess just unabashed violence, unabated violence is not a great thing to be. It's not palatable right now.
Right.
But that that said, like you kind of said, this was kind of fresh in an old school way, and this is a very this is for a very particular audience, I would say.
It absolutely is. And, after watching it and as we were watching it, I couldn't help but think of Up All Night and all those sorority babes at the Slime Bowl-orama and things like
Correct.
Chopping Mall came to
Oh
mind.
yeah, sure.
Like, I
Redneck
really thought
zombies, stuff like
all
that.
that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
like right now with all the streaming opportunities, there's people that try to make those kinds of movies now, and it doesn't ever really work. And
Mm.
I think if this came out in the late '80s, early '90s, I honestly think it would be a classic.
Oh yeah, I would have definitely eaten Flick's Pizza and watched this with my brother at age like 14. Like this was definitely something I would have found at the video store and watched over and over and over.
I was gonna say this is one of those things where someone rents as a joke, and you're like, I don't know about that, and then you
Right.
just watch it week after week after week after week.
Well, with a movie that kicks off the way it does, how could you how could you not be engrossed right away?
Which leads into my next question. When's the last time you saw so much superfluous nudity in a movie?
I mean, not in a while. Not in a while.
It's since it has to be since those 80s sex comedies, right? It seems like
Absolutely. Oh, this
nowadays
is
with it,
Frankenhooker levels of of nudity and full frontal, and is not the first shot full frontal nudity of a woman
the
who
very first shot
the very first shot,
next
and
to a
no,
fully
fully
clothed
clothed.
man.
And I know that's a particular kink for some people. No kink shame, but it took me off guard, and I think I texted you. I was like, off to a great, off to a great start. So
It jumps in with both feet.
yeah. Oh
It
man,
really
it
does.
all it all also though that first opening scene, it's almost well, I say that, but it's exactly what the rest of the movie is going to be. I mean, the climax is they kind of give you a taste of it right there. But I'm sure you're going to talk about how the movie kind of takes a different turn right at the beginning.
It does, and you know what I liked about this movie, or the beginning, it does set you up because a name like Wrestle Massacre, a cover like Wrestle Massacre, you know it's going to be a particular type of movie, but can easily be the wrong kind of bad.
Yeah,
But when you at the second it starts, you're like, okay, I know where this is headed.
I
I
get
think I
it.
might like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's the exact same opening to the first Thanksgiving, actually,
Is
with
it
the
really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because the turkey's chasing the pilgrim, the female pilgrim, and then her top falls off,
Oh,
and then he
as
makes
one
a
does.
crude he makes a crude comment about her boobs and proceeds to kill her. So okay, so plot wise, so this movie sets you up to be like it's gonna be sheer brutality.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work out like that, actually.
Nope.
What did you think of the pacing of this movie?
Weird, weird pacing. Much slower
Yeah,
than it sets up to be. It actually kind of tries to give you this sympathetic story of this of Randy Richie Acevedo. Randy is a gardener on hire with a like a gardening group, I guess, or whatever. And you kind of get this. He's kind of in love with one of his clients, I guess. And it
I'm
kind of,
sure.
I sure. And
Yeah, he actually is. He is because he's constantly talking. You're right. He is in love
you're right.
with her. Yeah,
Yeah, I forget her
she's
name.
weird. He's not.
Yeah,
Becky.
Becky. Becky. In one moment, she's like trying to be nice to him, and the next moment, she's talking mad shit about him. It's weird. I get why he
And
goes on a killing spree, to be
in
honest.
one moment, she's saying, "Yeah, you have permission to kick my boyfriend in the balls." The next moment, she's complaining about what a creep he is.
Yeah, and they do try to give you a moment of like, yeah, Randy maybe isn't like the best guy. He is kind of a creep, but yeah, I did not expect it to be like this character building first. Well, it's like a while, half hour, 40 minutes.
It's a good three-quarters of the movie is because
Yeah,
so the opening he's full born crazy, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure where that quite happens in the timeline of the movie. No, I'm really
I was hoping you would bring that up. I have no idea in which because I don't even understand. I guess there is a moment where he would have had to travel to that one house, and maybe that was through the woods.
yeah, I
Okay, it
guess,
doesn't matter.
but
It doesn't
you know, I guess it does. Like that, I'm actually it was so irrelevant that I'm just realizing right now that it makes no sense.
matter. I did,
um,
yeah.
so it starts off with this, you know, face ripping, full frontal nudity scene,
Throat
and
rip.
then throat rip, and then legs are torn off, limbs are torn off. Because I think I told you it's the
Oh
second
yeah,
time in
that's
three
right.
days I saw some limbs
So,
torn.
so you get their legs torn.
The other time being scare package, check it out. But
That's out today,
uh,
I think, or something. Maybe
yeah,
tomorrow.
it is. It's yeah, it's here tomorrow, and it's good.
Okay.
But
Quick
this
hit.
movie, this movie's actually better. But
Yeah.
this one, it starts off with this, you know, crazy scene, and then it tells you 4 days later, so you know that you're getting some character building. But
Right.
you're right, it's kind of methodical, and
It
it's
is.
patient.
It is. And then the other thing that it does is a bizarre choice in writing and directing is to introduce a quasi hero about halfway, two-thirds
It,
into the movie.
if not later, but yeah, earliest halfway in.
Yes. Yeah, and so all of the you're given you're given his heart's desire. You're given her boyfriend who's a
A
Fabio
douche.
joke, a complete Fabio joke,
He, yeah, he's multiple Fabio jokes.
multiple Fabio jokes, and then we get I guess we get the construction crew and the other people he's working with, but predominantly we're worried about the douchebag boyfriend and the girl and the quasi hero, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the main characters are obviously Randy, the
It's mostly
would-be
Randy.
killer. It's
Yeah.
Randy. Yeah, it's his story.
Yes.
Um,
He wants to be
Becky,
a
who
wrestler.
is
Yeah.
he ends up wanting to be yeah, he wants to be a wrestler because his dad was a wrestler,
His dad was a wrestler.
who is one of the many people who taunt him and learn their lesson.
Right. Totally.
In an amazing scene in which he no spoilers, but he leaves his dad looking very comfortable to me. His dad just lounging in a chair. It's one of the most peaceful scenes I've ever
Oh,
seen.
I want to sleep like that.
If that's how I go out, that's how I look, because it looks really good.
Yeah.
Played by the great Nikolai Volkov. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of thanks to you, I got to know these guys. Lots of old time wrestle cameos in this
yeah,
thing.
all time we have for you wrestling fans out. Nikolai's in there. The Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, Tony Atlas, one of
Tony
only
Atlas.
three men to cleanly pin Hulk Hogan in the '80s.
Whoa,
Uh, there you
whoa. Who are
go.
the other
That's a
two? Who are the other two?
Andre the Giant in '81
Okay.
and Ultimate War Ultimate Warrior in '91. So not so only
Wow.
two men in the '80s. Hogan had
They
a
gave
pretty
Ultimate Warrior one, did they? Wow.
Ultimate
That's
Warrior gave one.
wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
Ultimate Warrior got the clean win.
Much like Randy in most of
Yeah,
this
much
movie.
like well, he was a little dirty. He was
He was. He was not. He was not couth.
no, not at all, not at all. So this movie, it's kind of a character study. There's really only a few main characters. There's Randy, there's Becky, there's kind of Owen. There's the
Mhm.
hero who, now that I'm thinking about it and we're talking, I'm thinking maybe has 10, 15 minutes tops of screen time in this.
Yeah. Hmm.
And everyone else is just fodder.
Yeah.
And that's it. They get set up to be assholes that he destroys.
That he destroys.
Basically. So, how would you rate this? We talked about B movies. How would you say this rates with other B movies?
Oh, it's like the bottom of the barrel, but in a way that is so fun. Like this movie, I like when people make movies that they know are gonna be a certain way and they just kind of lean into it. Like there's lots of moments in this movie where um like you can tell like Randy forgot his lines or
They're the great,
or
great moments.
or maybe they don't have like lighting, you know, or, or stuff like that. But
And what you're saying is not that the lighting is poor, that there's literally no
none.
lights,
There's actually no lights.
as in the audience has no idea what's going on.
Correct, correct. There's just scenes that make no sense. But in the whole time it's just like you're sitting there, you're laughing, you're never taking it seriously. And so it's just super fun the whole time, you know. So as I say bottom of the barrel, I mean that in the best way possible. Just like like the movie Killing Spree is a perfect example of a movie like this, or like I said, like Redneck Zombies or anything. Just it's almost like they shot it on one camera, or they had a couple cameras, you know, like they only had a couple
Right,
cameras,
right.
like three crew, you know, the dude's mom did all the food for everybody, like that kind of stuff.
Exactly. She made the bologna sandwiches for the cast and
Right.
crew. The This movie is probably better than any B movie of recent times. Like I think it's better than that Birdemic movie. I've
Oh,
seen a lot of like horror movies that have come out.
Pastor.
Yeah, it's better than any Sharknado movie. I
Yeah.
can tell you that right now. 'Cause the first one's okay, but from there they draw it. But it's way better than the best
Oh,
Sharknado
not to
movie.
mention just all the nudity.
So much. It's surprising because nowadays you get nudity and it's kind of tasteful. Either that or it does make sense in like a Red Sparrow, which I recently saw. Well, when it came out, lots of nudity, but it made sense because she used sex as a weapon. In this, it's just out there. It's
It's
there's no reason for it.
oh,
This
there's a
absolute. Go.
oh, yeah, absolutely whatever you were gonna say is correct.
I was gonna say this absolutely could have been on any cable television network, but they decided to add all this for no reason. They just threw these scenes in.
Absolutely. There's literally a scene where he's watching a woman in the shower for an extended period of time. There's a female nipple rip scene that is
Straight out of
completely
the '80s, by the way. Straight out of the
holy.
'80s.
Oh, I mean the old Italian horror guys would have loved that.
Yeah.
Um, and let's talk about the gore actually. So the gore, while it's inconsistent, is it's pretty good for the most part.
It's good though. If you so a lot of times you watch older movies and you're like, okay, I got to look at it through like the modern lens to kind of you cut it some breaks. In this, low budget, so you want to cut it some breaks. Even with whatever minuscule budget they were working, there's some pretty good effects in this. Like they absolutely loved whoever they had to do the face peeling stuff. They really liked that because they have multiple
Yeah,
scenes of that.
multiple and head smashes like a
Eh,
cranial crush.
There's a really good cranial crush later in the movie where they show like the bottom half of the jaw and you can see a tongue sticking out. Very
Yeah, that
well
was a
done.
good one. Yeah,
That
it
was
leads
just
me to believe that it's like. Have you ever seen that movie with the Chrome Skull? I forget that it's like called Death Awaits or so. I forget the name of the movie, but the director is a special effects guy,
right.
and kind of a kind of a B movie like this. Better production for sure, but I kind of get that same vibe. I kind of get like the maybe the director, everybody involved is maybe that's kind of what they do professionally. Maybe not making movies.
Well, they're definitely into horror because the
Yeah,
director's previous work is MILFs versus Zombies.
on the list,
He has,
checking it
yeah,
out.
he has a particular genre and theme that he likes to stick with. So, we're kind of joking around about the effects and the lighting and the sound and the poor acting. I think I know the answer to this, but I'll throw it out there. Did any of that at any point ever take you out of what did it ruin the enjoyment for you?
Oh no, it added 100% added to it. Randy missing lines. I mean, just the whole like it felt like they were just like, all right, next scene. All right, film it, cut it, and print it. Like Ed Wood. Like no, it added to it. It was it. Like I said, this is for a very specific audience. I think me and you, Pat. But I loved it. I loved it.
If it were any better, and if it were 1% better, it would suck. Like it
That's so,
needed
so good to say. Yeah.
it needed to have that level. Like people throw around a lot now, like, oh, it's so bad, it's good. And the movie we saw a few weeks back that with the musicians in California, Tell Me I Love You.
Right.
Um, that was bad, not this kind of bad. That's to be so bad that you go full circle to be not just watchable, must see. That's a special kind of bad.
It really is.
It's
It's like Chico's tacos, man. It's the Chico's tacos of
it
no one's gonna
absolutely.
get that. No one's gonna understand that. Sorry.
So where would you rank? Although we've seen, we've seen The Wolf House and we've seen I Will Make You Mine, and we've seen comedies, dramas, documentaries, a little bit of everything. Where would you rate this amongst everything? Because it's near the top of my list, if not at the top.
Yeah. So I guess something that I've just been realizing about this whole project is I really just want to be entertained. I really just want to sit there and laugh or just I want to have feelings, whether they be like guffaw or I want to be entertained. And
Right.
this was one of the most entertaining things I've seen, not only this year in quite a while. Like it was yeah highly entertaining. This is right up at the top of the list with driveways.
Just, that's total opposite of this, and then total opposite of what we're planning on seeing for the next episode. So, final thoughts you have on WrestleMassacre, and is it opening day? Did you rent it? Did you wait to stream? Completely ignore.
Oh, opening day. Drop money on it. Give these people money. I want more movies like this from people making movies like this. So, opening day, final thoughts. Um, expect trash, expect low quality, expect to be highly entertained.
This is an absolute must-see opening day movie. Give them money, but put a note on there. Here's money. Do not spend it on making movies. Please don't put any money into put it in your pocket and do whatever you want with it.
Pay rent. Pay that
Yeah,
rent.
pay your rent. Don't buy new equipment. Don't get better sound. Don't get better actors. Don't do any of that.
Bring everybody back, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hire editors. Don't do anything differently. Like whatever ideas you have going on in your head, that's what
Cool.
you need to do. If you guys don't believe myself or Blake, if you think we're a little biased about it, maybe we're not the most objective people. It's on video on demand right now. Check it out. Um, every week you could hear us here on YouTube. You see us here on YouTube. Also, we cover anything, whether it's Wrestle Massacre, whether it's an animated documentary or an animated film, something like Driveways, maybe something with a little bit of music. We'll do it all. If you got any suggestions for us, send them our way. Put it in the comments. We will check it out. If you want anything that you can think of for us to look at, we'll do it. Um, thank you very much. Like and subscribe, I think is what Danny says.
That is what he says.
And we will talk to you next week.
Adios, everybody.